fights for the rights of ordinary British people? Who fights to control our borders? Who fights for men and women running small businesses? Reform UK is about to become a political phenomenon, an historic one. So I urge you, join the revolt.
You're all right!
Patronising, snuck-up snob. How dare you? How dare you tell people they didn't know what they were voting for? Open doors, everyone come.
Of course we need rules. Of course we need
Benefits
rules.
for everybody, lovely.
You are taking voters' decisions for granted.
I tell you what, if you went outside London and you met people in this constituency and others around the country, they're loathing the Conservative Party as such. There is no chance of them going back. Who are you? I've never heard of you. Emergency election announcement. This election needs a bit of gingering up. Thus far, it is the dullest, most boring election campaign we have ever seen in our lives. And it's funny because perhaps more important than that, cannot barrage the Farage. Is anybody else on the platform concerned that there are 74 convicted terrorists out on our streets and 400
we're all
turning
concerned,
jihadists? Or do we just ignore it and pretend it's going to go away? Surely we need... This is not just an ordinary criminal. These people want to destroy our civilization. Surely they should be put in prison for life.
Thank you very much
Silence
indeed.
is golden.
Thank you very much indeed.
We already have a deal to leave the European Union.
Okay, I don't want people speaking over each other if possible. Thank you.
It's going to give us independence. I thought you liked independence.
Well,
we're going to be a free nation.
If Scotland was
we can make our own laws, catch our own fish.
We wouldn't be getting dragged out of the European Union against our will.
You can't be independent and be in it. So the question is it oven ready, or are you going to go for a free trade deal?
Rishi Sunak.
Nigel has been a tireless campaigner for leaving the
I
EU.
have, absolutely.
But the difference between Nigel and me is that only my party, the Conservative Party, can actually deliver Brexit.
What are you going to deliver?
A vote for anybody else on this stage, including your party,
What are you going to deliver?
It's just going to mean Jeremy Corbyn in number 10. And that's going to mean no Brexit and years more delay, division and deadlock.
Are you going for a free trade deal, yes or no?
Thank you, gentlemen. Well, I'm just going to ask Rishi Sunak to address that direct question.
We want a partnership with Nigel's party.
Is this the Brexit that you really wanted, or not the fantasy Brexit, the actual Brexit on the table? Is this what you thought you were voting for in 2016?
Brexit is leaving, which would mean in Wales we could help the steel industry. In Wales you could help the fishing industry. So much better we could do outside.
But the point...
Leaving means we do not have the European Court of Justice ruling over our country. The problem with the deal on the table is that it would. That needs to be amended. If it is, it'll look like Brexit. If you leave it, Rishi, as it is, it's not Brexit.
OK, let's just return to the question.
The population of our country has risen by 8 million since Tony Blair came to power in 1997. And frankly, I'm pleased you picked up the Australian-style point system from me, but I've got no confidence that anybody here genuinely wants to reduce the numbers.
To find a doctor treating you in the NHS than you are to find an immigrant ahead of you in the queue. This is one of the worst
Isn't that terrible? Why are we training our own people?
Over the years.
Why don't we train our own people? What's wrong with us? We should train nurses and doctors, surely.
The current occupant of the White House is not somebody who shares our values. Boasted about sexually assaulting women. Policies are discriminatory.
Are you comfortable being his friend?
Well, Obama brought in the so-called Muslim ban, but no one criticised him. He was the one that named the 7 countries where a total stop on anyone coming into America should come from. Trump implemented it. And so these really, in many cases, are very, very false arguments.
We certainly shouldn't let him anywhere near our National Health Service, and I think it is at risk in a future trade deal. The Tories and Nigel Farage will say that's not true.
And can I just say, the biggest lie of this entire election campaign is that Trump wants to buy the NHS. He does not, and he will say so, I'm sure, this week when he's here.
We're going to, you're saying, oh, well, these things aren't what he said. When we've all seen the footage of him talking and boasting about sexually assaulting women.
I was talking about Obama and your so-called Muslim.
Point on Trump. Have you seen the footage of him boasting about sexually assaulting women?
Grab him by the pussy.
And it was crass, and it was crude, and it was wrong. And men say dreadful things sometimes. But the point here...
It's just all right then.
No, they do. They do. But you know something?
In particular.
If all of us were caught out for what we did on a night out after a drink...
I'm sorry, is that what you do on a night out after a drink? Is that what you do on a night out after a drink, Nigel?
I'm sure you've lived the purest life of anybody.
Come on, it's not purity
a word wrong about anything anyway.
What about rallies where they're shouting send her home? What about those rallies where they're shouting send her home?
Listen, American politics is, in fact, more divided in many ways than our politics. But all these false claims, you may not like him. He is president of the USA, and that relationship matters.
Nigel Farage,
so
we just bring in...
anti-American, you're prepared to put your hatred of Trump above our national interests, and that's a big mistake.
Well, Donald Trump, amongst many other things, demonises immigrants, so it's no wonder Nigel Farage really likes them.
Just like Obama before.
Well, no.
Just like Obama brought the
fact of the matter is,
you never attacked Obama, did you?
There is a trend in politics today of strong man politics. We've got Nigel Farage, we've got Boris Johnson.
Well, in a world that has barbarous countries like Iran rushing as quickly as they can to get their own nuclear weapons, it would be madness to unilaterally get rid of ours. And so, yes, we have to have it, and with reluctance, yes, there may be circumstances in which we'd have to use it.
I can't envisage what being prepared to kill millions of innocent people would do to protect or make safe or more safe the British people. And I think...
Exactly.
Why have it then?
I think that politicians should stop boasting about their willingness to kill millions of innocent people just because they think it'll get them a few extra votes.
Well, why waste the money on Trident if you're not prepared to use it? If you're never going to use it, don't waste the money on Trident.
Richard Bergen.
Come on, make your mind up.
In my own views, the Labour Party's democratic-decided policy is to keep Trident as a deterrent, not as something to boast about in election debates.
So have a deterrent that you'd never use, yeah?
Rishi Sunak.
Because debt under a Conservative government will be lower at the end of the Parliament. Under Labour's plans, it will be higher.
Can we stop this? We had it with Labour governments, we've now got it with Conservative governments, just lying to everybody. You are not cutting the debt. You are cutting the deficit. When you came to power, the national debt was 650 billion. It is now 1.7 trillion. The debt has gone up massively. Well, even more hugely under Labour, I accept that. But please tell people the truth. Our national debt now, the interest payments on it are £40 billion a year and going up.
It's
very straightforward. Debt as a percentage of GDP, which is the way we measure it, will be lower at the end of a Conservative government.
Massively.
Debt.
Still a bit taken aback hearing Nigel Farage accuse other people of lying about spending. Am I the only one who remembers the £350 million lie on the side of the NHS? The NHS will have £350 million a week more because of Brexit. I've just done it.
I didn't hear it.
The NHS will have £350 million more.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
I never said that. I never campaigned under it. But there is a need for honesty here.
Well, I've used the NHS a lot as an emergency patient through my life. But let's stop the lies, shall we? Let's stop that everyone wants to privatise it.
Yeah, but you're on the record, Nigel.
I'm not on the record.
You're on the record as saying...
And you gave us dirty hospitals, didn't you?
You're on...
Oh, my God! Oh, my fucking God!
Dirty hospitals under Labour.
Saw the case for replacing our National Health Service.
I've never said anything of the kind. I said richer people.
Thank you, gentlemen. Joe Swinson.
Lie.
Look, now it is time to have our closing statements.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed tonight's talent show. It's been a competition to see who can be the most politically correct. So, therefore, I must have failed here, but maybe not with you back at home.